Morning everyone, my name is Audrey. I am StitchyWitch42 here on Flosstube and over on Instagram, and this is my channel about cross-stitch, life, the universe, and everything. And today is Monday the 16th of May 2022. Oregon is still cold and wet and rainy. Last night there was a lunar eclipse, and I love celestial events. So Mark and I checked into it and figured out what time it was supposed to happen here in the Pacific Northwest. And on my phone I have an app called Skyview. When you bring that up, you can go into the menu and you can find constellations and planets and other stuff like that. Well, I knew that the full moon was supposed to be happening in the constellation Libra. So I pulled up Libra. And what it shows on my screen is a picture of the zodiac sign for Libra, and the moon was superimposed over it. But using that, I could tell where the moon was at as far as how high in the sky it was. And when we first started looking, it was below the horizon to us, so we couldn't see it. And of course, at that time in the evening, the sky was clear, but there were clouds rolling in. So we waited an hour and we went out again, and using Skyview, it was still under the horizon for us to see, but now the clouds are pretty much solid in the sky, which happens to me all the time. It is frustrating. But I kept going out and checking. I stayed up last night till about 11:30. That was the last time I went out. And while I couldn't see the moon, I could see it shining behind the clouds, so I know where it was at, but I was not able to see the lunar eclipse. Oh well, maybe next time. Yeah. Anyway, I want to start off my video talking about a new-to-me Flosstuber. This morning when I woke up, I was lying in bed. I didn't want to get out of bed because I've been hurting lately and I just didn't want to move. I'll talk about that later. So I grabbed my cell phone and I went to Flosstube and saw that this person had their very first Flosstube video. They put it up 6 days ago. The name of the channel is Kitsy Whips and her name is Maggie. Now what I noticed was that watching this on my cell phone, and I was watching it on my cell phone vertically, I could see that her first video, she'd had over 2,000 views of this very first Flosstube video. But she only had 421 subscribers. People, please subscribe. When you subscribe to somebody, you're helping to build their channel. I watched Maggie's first video and I loved her. Anyone who can start their video by saying, I've got the face on, I've got the good bra on, I'm ready to go, that's my kind of humor. And she does big projects. She shared 4 of them. She does Chatelaines, she does Nora's, Mirabilia's. She was fun and she had a lot of energy. Go watch her. So let's talk about subscribers for a moment, because I know that I've been ragging on about this over the past couple of videos. Why is it important to subscribe to somebody? Really simple. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps to build their channel. The more people that are subscribed, the more likes they get, the more it shows up in people's feeds. So again, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe to somebody. How do you do it? Well, if you're watching on your cell phone, and let me reach over and grab mine, because I could have had my cell phone where I could get to it, but that would have been too easy, right? I watch my cell phone vertically. And when I look at it vertically, I can see up here, Flosstube 1, hey y'all, whips and stuff. 2,000 views 6 days ago. Down underneath here is the name of her channel, Kitsy Whips, 421 subscribers. And then right next to it is the subscribe button. All I did was I clicked on it. That was it. I am now subscribed to her channel. If you're watching on your laptop or your home computer, it's pretty much the same setup. You can see the name of the video, you can see the name of the channel, you can see how many views there's been, how many subscribers the person has, and right next to it is a subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything to click the subscribe button. Now, if you're watching on television, and I gotta get up and grab the remote again, hold on. I might edit that out. I might not. We know how well I edit. We use Roku. So on my little Roku, when I'm watching YouTube on my television, if I hit the up arrow when I'm watching somebody's video, it brings up the time bar. I can pause there if I need to. I can see how long the video is, how much I've watched, how much I have left to watch. But right above it are some icons. And if you hit the up arrow again, it takes you to the first icon, which is a picture that the person uses for their channel. If you hit OK, on your right hand side of the screen, it's going to bring up a black border. It's going to have the person's picture, it's going to have their channel name, it's going to have the number of subscribers they have it, and then right underneath there are two options. The first one is go to channel, and the second one is subscribe. If you hit the arrow down button, it will go to subscribe, and then all you have to do is press OK. And after you've done that, if you hit the arrow back button, you go back to watching your video. And it took all of 2 seconds. Why is this important? It helps to build the channel. We've watched Flosstubers who have been in the under 1,000 sub club. The importance of getting to 1,000 subscribers is because then you have more options of things that you can do as you continue to create your videos. One of them is monetizing. My channel is monetized, and I've told you before, I do not make much money from monetizing my channel. I make 0.06 of 1 cent for every ad watched, and until I've earned $100, YouTube doesn't send me a check. In 4.5 years, I've earned $330. I'm not going to be retiring on this money. On the other hand, I know of other people who have way more subscribers than I do, and because they have a higher number of subscribers and more people are watching, and therefore more people are watching the ads, their revenue is higher. Some of them get checks every month. Something to think about. The like and dislike buttons. Those are filters that are used by YouTube for you to tell YouTube what you want to show up in your feed. If you hit the like button, it doesn't necessarily mean that you like the content. It means that you want to see more videos of this type. If you hit the dislike button, again, it doesn't mean that you dislike the content. It could. It just means that you don't want videos of that type to show up in your feed. And YouTube puts that into their algorithm as to who they recommend for you to watch. So, please go watch Maggie's first video and like and subscribe. It's easy to do and it doesn't cost you anything. There's another lady that I have not watched for quite some time because there's so many Flosstubers. Her name is Stitching Jules. She was one of the first people that I started watching, and I enjoyed her dry sense of humor. But on her blog, on her personal blog, she has a list of all the YouTube video creators that she knew of as of September 7th, 2020. And at that point, there were over 800 people making YouTube videos, Flosstube videos. So go check out Jules. You can find her list, and if I can figure out how to link that, I will, because that's a way to find new people. If you go through that list and you are watching somebody who's not on that list, let her know so that she can add them to it. That's my rant about subscribing and liking videos. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to the people who like my videos. My channel is growing. My channel is growing slowly, and I'm okay with that. I've never quite understood how it works where somebody like Maggie can have 2,000 views and 421 subscribers. On the other hand, I have seen people that in 2 or 3 videos are already up to 3,000, 4,000 subscribers. Who knows? I mean, I don't know why that's happening or how that happens. Like and subscribe, please. I will get off my box. All right. So, life update. Like I was saying this morning, I have been hurting a lot lately. And I'm not going to bore you to death with this, but once again, I'm falling apart. In my last video, I talked about being over at Seaside with Mark and not being able to walk back to my car because my leg and my hips and my back were hurting so bad. I had gone to my doctor 2 days before I went on vacation, and he wanted me to get an x-ray of my lower back. He wanted me to make an appointment with a physical therapist. I did both. I went to the physical therapist. He told me the results from the x-ray shows that I have some compression in the lower discs in my back, which are normal for someone my age. Remember me, I'm a queen-ager. But as we were talking and I was telling him how this comes on and how it feels and how my leg aches so much, he made the comment, he goes, "How long do you have until you retire?" And I said, well, 24 months, 2 years. And he suggested to me that I get in touch with my orthopedic doctor again, the ones that did both knees, and start the process of going in with them and seeing what's happening, because he thinks I might be headed towards a hip replacement. So, if that's going to happen, let's hope that it happens sooner rather than later, because I have really good insurance right now. And if I have to wait until I retire, I have no idea what my insurance will be like. I'm falling apart again. And I hurt. But I always hurt, so let's get over that. But on that note, I talked with the lead bookkeeper at my store about a month ago, and I said, can we switch up my schedule? I only work 20 hours a week. I was working 1 4-hour day and 2 8-hour days, and the 2 8-hour days were just too much. So I said, can we switch to me working 4 5-hour shifts? And this past week was my first week of doing that, and so much better. So much better. So, I also get to walk with a cane now, because the therapist said so. It's my walking accoutrement. So while I'm talking about work, I also want to talk about Daleen. So grateful. I love Daleen. I think you should go check her out. If you haven't, like and subscribe to her too. Like and subscribe to everybody. Whether you actually go back and watch somebody, that's entirely up to you. Subscribing helps them build their channel. Get off the high horse. Daleen has done this for a couple of years now, where for her birthday she goes to the dollar store and she buys a cake pan and cake mix and frosting mix and napkins and balloons and candles, and she puts them all together and she takes it to her local food bank so that somebody who's using the food bank can go in there and get a whole birthday cake package so that they can celebrate somebody's birthday in their family. And I think that that's a fabulous idea, because early on in my life, I had to use the food bank. I've had to use food stamps. I've had to use WIC vouchers. If anybody doesn't know what WIC is here in Oregon, it stands for Women, Infants, Children. It's a nutritional program for pregnant women, infant children, and children up to the age of 5. I've used all of those things. So if I can do something as simple as going down to the dollar store and putting together a birthday cake package, $1 a piece, pan, cake, frosting, candles, napkins, balloons, $6. If I could do a couple of those and it makes somebody's day, yes. Yes, please. We have a gentleman who comes into our store every Wednesday. He buys things from our store. It's a setup with the local food bank and my store. He comes in and he buys bread and tortillas, and he gets a discount for them. And so he always comes up to customer service because it requires an override to ring up his purchases. And I asked him about this. Does anybody do that? And he said no. But he said, what a fabulous idea. So later on today, I'm going to go down to the dollar store and I'm going to put together a couple of birthday cake packages and take them to work with me on Wednesday so that when I see him, I can give them to him and he can take them onto the food bank. Alrighty. Would you like to talk cross stitch? Because, you know, that is the main purpose of this channel. I have a finish. I've told you about it. I've talked about it. This is Beehive Mother Cluckers. This is a pattern that was designed by my friend Becca, Sambry Stitches, for all of us who gather up at Anna's Beehive or Cheryl's Hen House. And hopefully later in the week I get to go see these ladies again. I want to see for myself that Cheryl's okay. I know she says she's doing all right, but I still want to see for myself. If you don't know, go watch Stitching with the Sisterlies. They will talk about it. But this is my finish on Beehive Mother Cluckers. Now, obviously, if you know me, you know I was switching up this pattern because Cheryl's got some chickens. There's an Audrey 2 chicken. There was another Flosstuber chicken that died, and Audrey 2 was walking around on the dead chicken. Go watch Stitching with the Sisterlies. I'll tell you who that is. So what I did is I took Becca's pattern and I turned the chicken upside down. And I have the legs dangling off of it. And I have the head rolling back over the little nest here. It was the closest thing that I could come up with to making a dead chicken. And then I put this chicken next to it. This is Audrey 2. And I put my initials right underneath it. So because I made a couple of little adjustments there, I have an area here in the center that is blank. And I added an extra little chick over here. But then I was thinking this part up here, the words, it felt a little bit too top-heavy to me. So I sat and I counted and I added an extra bee up here and I added an extra chick up there. And I think that, for me anyway, makes it a more cohesive pattern. I'm not saying anything about Becca's design. I love it. I stitched it, obviously. But this is my finish on Beehive Mother Cluckers. I will be taking it up with me when I go visit with Anna and Cheryl later in the week. And I'm going to ask all the ladies in our small little stitching group if they will initial it. Now, Colleen won't be there because she lives up in Washington. She had offered to take it with her when she went to Amana this past week to have the Flosstuber whose chicken is dead on my pattern, on my stitched piece, to have her initial it for me. And I thought that was a fantastic idea, but it wasn't feasible to get this up there soon enough for her to have it. But I hear they're going back to another one in October, so I may just hold on to this before I finish it until then and see if they can get her name. Get her to sign it. If she does, she does. If she doesn't, she doesn't. And it's all good. So that was my first finish. Now, dropping things, as I always do. I did a couple of giveaways on my last video. The first one was the Tales of Haunted Hollow. It is the pattern and the ceramic beads. And I said, if you're interested in this, please be a publicly subscribed viewer. Use the word haunted. 20 people commented, and this is going to go to Kim Kearns. The other one that I did was buttoned up for the holidays. The word on this one was button. Only 6 people put down button in their comments. This one is going to Debbie Sisk. I know Debbie won on my last video too. It's a random Flosstube comment picker. I need your home address, Debbie. So contact me either through my email or through Instagram. Give me your address and I will get that sent on to you. Talking of my last video, I made a comment that I was going to be adding some pictures at the end of it. Have I ever told you that technology baffles me? I use a Canon 35mm camera to... No, it's not a 35mm camera. It's a digital camera. Blonde. I use a Canon digital camera to record my videos. It's got a flip-out screen so I can see myself while I'm talking to you. I don't want to see myself while I'm talking to you. But I use it so that I can make sure I have things on the screen for you to see. I had taken some pictures when I was over at the coast and I was going to include them on my last video. But they were on my phone, which means I need to get them into my laptop so that I can add them to my video. I know how to do this, but for the life of me, when I did that last video, I couldn't remember how. At all. When Mark got home that night, I asked him, and he goes, "You send it through email." I said, "Well, I'm trying to send it through AOL." And he goes, "No, not AOL, email." And as soon as I did that, it's like, yeah. Editing. It baffles me. What can I say? Alrighty. So, I finished Beehive Mother Cluckers. And then I went to work on another piece. And that piece was Teresa Kogut's Daydream Believer. I had gone to Hobby Lobby and bought a toolbox. On the bottom of this box, the tag says, rectangular wood box with handle. The price is $18.99. The item number is, I can't read it. It will be posted down below. But this was a plain pine wood box. So I went with Mark to the hardware store. And we went over to the stains. And in the Minwax area, they have this board that stands out from the racks that says, if you're using these stains on this type of wood, and I looked for pine, I could find the coloration that I wanted. This coloration is early American. And I love the way it looks on here. I did 2 coats on the bottom, on the ends, on the inside, and everything. And I left it to dry for about 2 days. I then took the backs for 2 needle minders, because I have a whole bunch of them upstairs on a metal sign in my crafting bureau. And I measured the halfway point. This is 4 inches high, so at 2 inches, I went in and I put them right about here on the other side, and I glued them down with Gorilla Glue. And then I let it sit for several days. Yesterday I went upstairs and I finished Daydream Believer. There is my finish. All I did was make a simple flat mount. I left the pins in. I pin and tape my pieces when I'm putting them together, and then I covered the back with a piece of crafting paper, and I took 2 metal washers. I learned something here. You have to be careful what kind of washers you use if you're going to do this kind of finishing, because when I went and asked Mark, he went and got me 2 stainless steel washers. Stainless steel does not stick to magnets. So he went back through and he found me 2 metal washers. And again, I just used Gorilla Glue to put them on the back of that. And there you have it. I can now swap out my finishes on this toolbox. I need to go get some styrofoam to put in there and some greenery to put in there, because I would like this to be, I'd like to have greenery in there. I'm not good at doing floral arrangements, so Niecy Lynn, if you're watching, help me. Anyone who's good at floral arrangements, help me. But this is my latest FFO. So since Anna keeps talking about stars, I counted in my journal that I got from Chris Yo as the Yo Flies. I have had 22 finishes this year. I need to give myself a star for having a fully finished there. So I got curious. If I've got 22 finishes here, and I think, oops, there goes the pen. I'm only on start number 19, but I've had 22 finishes. That means I finished some stuff from last year. So then I started looking, and I went through here and I looked at what I've carried forward from last year, and I only have 4 projects. I have my Alphonse Mucha. I have my Stony Creek Halloween Village Afghan. I've got Mandarin's Design Moon Charm, and I have Frogwarts Year 2. 4 projects. That's it. That's all I have. For all of you people out there who have 20, 30, 40, 50, 90, 100 plus, my brain doesn't do that. But I decided that I was going to pull out Mandarin's Designs. This is in one of my Vonna Pfeiffer style project bags. I am keeping my flosses in a Floss Buddy. And I decided to use this for this pattern because not only are there all these wonderful colors of DMC, there's also blends. So, let me find the cover page. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And my printer was running out of ink, so this is a really horrible representation, but you can still see the overall idea. I pulled this out and I started working on it, and I have to tell you, I do love working on this piece just for the colors. They are vibrant and lovely and right up my alley. So I came in and I finished the lower part of this feather here. I started working on this candle here. I've got most of this feather stitched. These three little, whatever they are, I'm not sure. But this is coming along quite nicely. This is on a piece of 16 count Cosmos Aida from BeStitchMe. And so I am making some progress on that project. But you know, if I've only got 4 projects that I'm working on, and I just had 2 finishes and 1 FFO, I needed a new start. So I started thinking about what I wanted to stitch. And I know that I have signed up for Acorns and Threads Pacific Northwest Stitcher Summit this September. And I know that there will be an exchange. There usually is. So I need to get something made. So I went upstairs and I grabbed last year's Halloween 2021 Special Collector's Edition of Halloween. And is my piece on the front here? No, it is not. So let me see if I can find it on the back page where they list them all. It's this one right here, number 28. It's called I'm Not Really Evil by StitchyFish Designs. And what it says on it is that I'm not evil. I've just been in a very bad mood for 20 years. And I thought, you know, this would be fun to do. This piece is 67.5 stitches high by 88 wide. Finish size on 28 count will be 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. And this is an intermediate level stitch. Why is it intermediate? Because there's quarter stitches in it. Lots and lots and lots of quarter stitches. But if you look up and if you can see the way the buckle is on the hat, it's because of the quarter stitches that it looks the way that it does. And because of the quarter stitches along the edge of the hat, you get this more rounded look. And it's something that I have to pay attention to when I'm stitching, but that's okay. And it's something that I use my magnifier light while I'm stitching this one because of the quarter stitches. I'm stitching on 32 count, picture this, plus Ancient. But this is where I'm at with this one, and I think that she is going to be really, really adorable when she's done. I already know how I want to finish her. So, that is my new start. I won't be taking this one with me when I go up to visit with the ladies, because I do need to have the magnifying light in order to see what I'm doing. Alrighty. So I think that is pretty much everything that I have to share with you. I do have 2 pieces that I would like to give up for a giveaway or a pass the stash or a share, whatever you want to call it. The first one is La-Di-Da. This is the giveaway that I'm doing. This is La-Di-Da Something Wicked. I've colored on the back. Please use the word wicked. Please be publicly subscribed. Don't say giveaway. Be over 18. All the general rules apply. The other one is a small Christmas piece. This is Heart in Hand Christmas Magic. So, magic. Wicked magic. Yeah. Anyway, that is pretty much all that I have to share today. I know you see my Alphonse Mucca sitting down here. I haven't done anything with her. She's what I'm going to work on today. I've got to go get this uploaded. I need to go down to the dollar store and pick up some cake pans and cake mix and whatnot, and put together a couple of those to take to my food bank, because I think that's a fantastic idea. I will list all the things that I usually list down below. Thank you once again for coming and visiting with me. Until we meet up next time, live long and stitch on, my friends. Bye-bye.